Let's take you live outside right now because we have our reporters and photographers who are transversing the various areas of the Arklatex. And right now we want to show you a shot. I understand it's in Frierson, and this is the relay station. It's a gas station on I-49. And what's unique about this is as we pan around, you can see all the various power company utility crew trucks. They're there with the cherry pickers. They're getting a little bit of a break before they head out at dawn's early light. Now they're going to be, for the most part, checking out what areas are still without power. Some areas around Grand Cane is still without power. East or west of Mansfield still without power. A lot of those areas have been dealing with power outages that have lasted days. But as we pan around, you can see the trucks are staged. They are ready to go. The crews will be making sure that they're gassed up, ready to go, and then they'll be heading out as we continue our weather coverage throughout this morning. And Jeff Dillard is our videographer there. We'll be checking in with him a little bit later. Well, we continue our team coverage of the aftermath of this recent storm. KTBS 3 Chief Photographer Jeff Dillard is live for us this morning, giving us the view in Mansfield at the scene of a water break. Tell us more, Jeff.
Oh, yeah. Yesterday they had just about got the town of Mansfield repressurized when an AT&T contractor was going to put a pole in right here, and that's the pole right there in the background, and it busted this water main and they lost pressure again. So I'm sure they'll be out here again in the morning. Right now, the last I read is that they isolated this spot and turned it off and are building pressure back up again. So hopefully the town of Mansfield should have water back today. But you can also see that these houses right here, some of the few that just don't have power yet. But hopefully today they'll have the water back on in Mansfield. Right now they do have power on several streets, or most of it, but this is the main concern right now. Once they get this all fixed, then build up some pressure again, then get water back to these homes.
Right, and your location is there on High School Street, as I understand?
That's correct. High School Street in Mansfield, right over here behind the school board office. You can see it in the distance back there. And you can see where they were putting poles in, where that pole is right there, that's the one they were trying to put in there when they nicked this water line.
All right. And with low or no water pressure, it's going to be up to residents and businesses to have to use either bottled water or boil their water as that problem's being fixed. We appreciate it. Jeff Dillard giving us the view out there in Mansfield. Thank you. And we continue our team coverage of the aftermath of the winter storm with KTBS 3 Chief Photographer Jeff Dillard, who's live for us this morning, joining us from his car. And that vantage point gives you an idea of where the tricky spots are, huh, Jeff?
Oh yes, right now I'm in Stonewall, just checking out the roads. This is Stonewall Frierson Road, and although it is pretty well clear, there are still spots of ice in different places of it. Once you get off these main roads, then Stonewall begins getting slippery again. So that's where I'm headed now. Right now I'm headed back to the interstate from Stonewall, and gonna turn on Linwood at some point. But right now, Stonewall Frierson Road, all the main thoroughfares in Stonewall are clear, and it's pretty much like that throughout DeSoto Parish, especially the northern side. I hit a little bit of ice right there and slid, but here we go. More patches right there, and I'm going too fast. I'm going to slow down.
Well, and we should tell our audience that that view, that vantage point that we give people from the car, that camera, it always exaggerates the motion somewhat. So your speeds are not quite maybe what they're looking like from that vantage point. But also, Jeff, I noticed something on Lucas Flournoy when I was driving to work, that I'd be on dry pavement, but the problem was even though up ahead was just a roadway, an elevated roadway over a drainage ditch, that elevated roadway was still thick with slushy ice pack. And that's something that people really have to watch out for.
Absolutely.
All right.
What surprised me on the drive back yesterday was when we got up under the overpasses. They were frozen still under the overpasses because they stayed in the shade. So that's something to be, you'll be on dry ice, and then all of a sudden, you'll be on dry road, and then all of a sudden you go under one of the other passes and it's slick ice. So just be careful on your way in today.
Okay, Jeff Dillard, thank you for that report. We continue our team coverage of the aftermath of this storm. KTBS 3's Jeff Dillard, our chief photographer, is live for us this morning at the closure on I-49. I assume you're on the southern edge of that. Jeff, tell us what you're seeing.
This is right here, just past the Burt Coons exit. You can see where the northbound lane going in to or going down I-49. This area is shut down. They shut it down at Burt Coons. Historically, it's always the first to get shut down because this is where the elevated sections start. So it's always the first to shut down and the last to open. Notice the traffic you see on the southbound lane over there is where it's actually diverting ahead off of 3132. So 3132 stays open, and then all that traffic that's going through south goes on through. But you know, the northbound side is where they shut down here first. So they are still diverting all traffic off of I-49 onto Burt Coons, and then once they get the elevated sections defrosted and all the ice off of it, then they'll open up the entire I-49 section here. But from here, Burt Coons all the way to I-20 on I-49 is still closed.
All right, that's causing many people to adjust their morning commute, so allow yourself extra time to get to your destination this morning if you're just planning to make it to work. Probably not school, since many schools are canceled in the area. All right, thank you, Jeff.